Hello everybody, welcome to this section of learning Adobe InDesign. In this section we will be discussing how you can use Adobe InDesign to create your final document that is consisting of cover page and multiple photos, how you can change the layouts, insert photos, insert page number, and replace photos after you insert them. Also we will be working on adding text and editing the text a little bit. To begin with, let me explain why you need to learn Adobe InDesign. So Adobe InDesign is only a publishing software that is used to create the posters, flyers, and books and booklets, of course. Unlike Adobe Illustrator, Adobe InDesign is not flexible when you want to create diagrams and using the vector elements. It has the vector elements such as the pen tool, like here, rectangle tool, but it's not as flexible as Adobe Illustrator in doing that. So when you're creating a big poster, let's say, that has lots of diagrams and it's only one page, maybe it's better for you to use Adobe Illustrator than Adobe InDesign. However, Adobe InDesign is more flexible when the pages when you're doing multiple pages, because it allows you to add the page number and use the same let's say template without having to copy paste it to each page individually. Same applies to Adobe Photoshop. When you're using Adobe Photoshop, you can use it to do the photo editing. This is not possible in Adobe InDesign. You can only insert the photo, change its size, and probably the blending mode, and that's it. So when you are working on your documents, it's better for you to think first why you want to use it for, what you want to use it for, and in most cases Adobe InDesign is the last stage of your work after you finish putting all of the pieces, like designing the diagrams, designing the photo, editing, everything. You just want a place to put them all together and create the final document. This is where Adobe InDesign comes to be very flexible and useful for you. To begin with, let's just start first explaining the platform. So let's go to New, Document, and from Print you can choose one of the ready sizes available, such as A4, B5, A3. If the one you want is not here, such as A0, A2, you may need to put them manually here. You can also change the units and change the orientation. So I will choose A4 and then click on Create. If you decide that you want to change the page, sorry, let's say the units first, and you may not sure if you've changed them already, so you go from Edit, Preference, Unit, and it appear here like I changed it to millimeters. You can do that if in case you didn't. If you decided after you started working on the project and even in the halfway through that this is not what you want, this is not the size A4, you want it different size, so you just from Pages section Pages window, you click here and you can change it either directly to whatever size you want, or you can go to Custom and edit it manually here. For now, let's keep it A4. What you need also to know is there's the page window, the layers window underneath the pages window. There's also the links window. These are one of the three main windows that you'll be working on when you're using InDesign. And on the pages, you can just click New and it will add new pages, as many as you need. As you can see here, you double click on the page and you can go directly to the one that you're designing on. If you want to delete them, you just click on the Shift button and just do that, and you can click delete and it will delete all the pages for you. From the layer section here, you can change the layer name by double clicking on it. I will call this one background. I'll create a new one. I will call it photo, and the third one I will call it elements, and the one on the very top I will call it text. Now to start with the cover, you just make sure you're on the first page, which is page number 1, and you are on the photos, because I will insert the photo now for the background. One thing you need to know is Adobe InDesign doesn't save the photos in the file, it uses links. That means when you are placing a photo, it will automatically save the link of the location, and will upload it whenever you open the file. It will upload the link, the photo there. So in case you do any editing to the main photo, the edits will appear when you open the file. That helps you in maintaining flexibility when you're editing and creating your portfolio, for example, or the documents that you're working on submitting. So let's start with place. So from file, place, I can check in my folder. I have this photo I've downloaded already that I want to use, so I'm just going to copy the photo and create a new folder called cover, for example, or cover 1, and I will create a new folder here called links, and in the links I will paste my building photo in here. So I make sure that it is in the place I know that it is in. When I paste it, drag and drop, you notice that the photo comes a little pixelated. That's because Adobe InDesign is trying to save the memory RAM. So to see how it looks, if it's actually pixelated or not, you can go to View and click on Overprint Preview. Sorry. Then the photo will show in its real resolution. If I go to links, you can see that this is the photo name and thumbnail showing it, and all of the information about it, and the link info shows that the path we've saved it in a folder called link and its page. So in case you delete the main photo in the main links folder, this one will disappear and it will ask you to upload it again. So let's now rotate the photo. If I want to resize the photo, the photos in InDesign come in the photo frame. So if I just resize something here, you see the red line here, it's called the photo frame. So if I click on fitting, it's called the fill frame. There is this options. If I say center content, the photo will be centered in the frame. If I go again to fitting and say fit content to frame, then the content will be expanded and it will fit the frame automatically, so you do not have to actually do that manually, which is very useful here in Adobe InDesign, because you can work on it over and over very easily. So this is when it comes to the photo. So I'll go now to text layer from layers, and I'll create a big rectangle and I will write project's name on it. As you can see, it came a little small, so you have to select it using the text tool and change the size like this. Now if I want to change let's start with the font name. I'm just going to select it again and change the font from here, something else more simple maybe. If you want to change the case, from type, change case, uppercase, and it changes the case, and the font is a little bit weird, it has weird spacing, so I'm changing it to another one. If you want to change it to bold, you can from here, and now you can move it and rotate it using the selection tool. I'm aligning it with the building, centering it in the middle. Now if you decide that you want to change the spacing of the font, you just select the font again using the double click on the text, and you can change the spacing from here. It's called I think we're just going to write manually, and it changed the spacing of the letters. However, it made them 2 lines, so to change this thing, you just go to selection tool again and make the rectangle of the text larger so it becomes on 1 line. I'm going to select all the font again, make it a little smaller, and changing its color to something similar that fits with the blend in or fits with the background. I'm going to go to the eyedropper tools. There are 2 of them. There's color theme tool and eyedropper tool. So I will choose the eyedropper tool and change it to something brown. Center it, and that's it. Now to add the, let's say, the element here, and going to click on the element layer. I will create a rectangle, and I will change the rectangle filling color. So you click on the fill and change it using the eyedropper tool to something similar to the background. Now if you go to the direct selection tool, you can select one vertex and move it. So click on the corner, working, direct selection tool, you click on the corner and then you'll be able to move it. If you have an outline, you can say do not want an outline, just from here or from here. Now you can also resize this. If you want to write your name on this ribbon here, I'm going to go again and double click on the text layer, and using the text tool or type tool, draw a rectangle and write your name on there. If you want the properties of this text to be exactly as this, you use the eyedropper tool. After you select the words that you want to change and just pick the one, and now you can see, if I expand this, that it is exactly the same. So what I want to do is change it to white. So you can go to here and change to paper, which is the white, and then I'm going to make it smaller, and using the selection tool, I will move it and put it here. This is still like going outside. You can just make it more small, and that's it. Final thing I'm going to do now for the cover page, I'm going to go back to the photos, and I will place the university logo. If I go here, I'll have the grayscale university logo on PNG file that has a transparent background. So I'm going to copy this and paste it in the links folder next to the background, and then I'm going to open and place it, drag and drop it here. So as you can see, the university logo came grayscale, and it's not very visible. To change its blending mode, you go to Object and Effects, and I will click on Transparency, and then the effect window will appear. The first thing on transparency is the basic blending mode, and I'm going to change this to screen so it will blend in with the background. If you feel like you want to make more edits to this cover page, you can change the photo. Let's say make it smaller, and again, if I click on fitting and I said fit content to frame, or frame to content, or center content, you can see how this is gonna change the effect. If you want to make a darker color for the background, I'm going to click on the background, create a rectangle, and choose the eyedropper tool and make it same color maybe as the ribbon. That's not working. Okay, I'm selecting again the rectangle and the eyedropper tool. And weird, the eyedropper tool is not working. In case the eyedropper tool is not working, you can just copy the code. So I'm double click on the rectangle, copy its code number, and double click on the color of the background and paste the code number, and it's changing. It will change it then. If you feel like you want to resize the logo after you change the fitting frame, you can click on fitting and fit content to frame, and then it will change for you like this. So now we've finished creating the cover page. I'm going to save the photo, save the work in the cover one next to its link, which can be outside. I will call it